It's Francisco Chia Santana from nearby Santa Barbara, California, taking on Kendal Mena. It's a 10-rounder scheduled in the welterweight division. We start with Kendal Mena. There he is. He's all fired up. It's his first ever professional fight outside of his home country, the Dominican Republic. He's excited to be in California and excited to make a mark on worldwide television. His opponent has several big fights, a lot of experience, 21 victories, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. He's not a big puncher, 10 knockouts, but he expects to take his opponent to school tonight. And now, Teddy, give us your take. What are we going to see here in our opening contest?
I start with Mena. Well, Santana, I noticed on tape, sometimes he moves his head. You know, when you make defensive moves, he moves them from a little too far away. When he does that and he's too far out, well, time him, nail him. And for Santana, well, you just touched on it pretty well. Mena has never really been in a real fight. Go get him.
Center. Okay, these trunks are extremely high. I'm going to let them work in here. They're going to slide up. They're high. Okay, leave them alone. All right, I gave you instructions in the dressing room. I just want to remind you, pelea duro, pelea limpio, toco los manos, buena suerte.
Teddy, I know you're big on when fighters haven't fought anybody, when they haven't proven themselves. Mena certainly falls in that category.
Yeah, that might be the operative word. He might fall into that category tonight. He might fall because he has never fought anybody. Exactly. Couldn't put it much better myself.
There you go.
I mean, he's been in with, I'll tell you the truth, that is the worst collection of really, really weak, decrepit opponents that in my 40 years, I don't think I've ever seen anything really worse. I mean, the combined records, to say it again, of all his opponents, and it took a lot of adding to do this, by the way, 39 wins, 220 losses, and 14 draws. Only one fighter. There was one. We found one that had a winning record. But that does not prepare you for a step up in a real fight. And tonight, Santana's no world beater, don't get me wrong, but Santana's been in real fights. That gives him a real advantage.
As I mentioned, Mena from Dominican Republic, San Cristobal to be more specific. He hasn't fought outside his home country. It's probably tough to find a lot of good competition there and have people fly in to fight you. So a big chance for Mena, a big step up in competition as he fights local boy done good, Francisco Chia Santana. They call him Chia because they think his hair looks like a chia pet. Oh, a left hook and a beauty! Sends Mena to the canvas. Just like that, welcome to the United States.
I said the operative word was something to do with going down. No shock here. When you've never been in a real fight and you fought nothing but a bunch of guys that were taken out of the graveyard.
And Mena's in trouble again, flat on his back. He's out cold, and that will do it. What a win for Francisco Chia Santana.
Did what he was supposed to do with a guy who, again, has never been in a real fight, and unfortunately, he has been now.
If he doesn't have one in.
That's not the way you bring up your opponents, or you bring up your prospects, by putting them in with nobody, because when you do that, this is the result that you wind up reaping sometimes.
Right now, the ringside physician checking on Mena. Looks like he's okay, considering. It was interesting because Mena's manager had no problem putting him in this fight, Juan Guzman. In fact, he said that Mena should have a field day with Santana. That could not be further from the truth.
Well, a lot of people in the business, in all businesses, they lie sometimes. And obviously he was lying. But those punches inside the ring, those punches, they do not lie.
Let's take a look at our 2 knockdowns. And we'll start with that left hook, Teddy.
And there it is, the hands are down. Mena's working from a little too far away with his hands down, his head exposed. You're supposed to cover with the right hand when you throw. When you throw a left, You're supposed to keep your right hand down, your right hand up, but it was down. Somebody's talking to me as I'm doing these replays, but here's his second knockdown.
Oh.
And again, wide punches, slappy punches from Mena, no covering. The right hand not up when he's throwing his own left, and the left hook of Santana, shorter, harder, better. And there it is, a wide punch from Mena, a slappy punch, and a short, proper punch with that left hook from Santana, and Mena goes down. And again, the end of the fight, wide punches, arm punches for Mena. Doesn't move his head, stays right in the middle, hands are not up. As he's throwing his left, his right is down, he pays a price. Would have been a lot less painful for Mena if his people, the people in charge of his career, would have put him in a real fight a while before. Then he would have had a better idea what he had to deal with. Tonight, he found out what is out there, what you have to deal with in a career as a real fighter. And he wasn't ready for it.
Let's see if we can get that knockdown and knockout on SportsCenter tonight. Use the hashtag SCTop10 for Chia Santana's first round knockout over Kendal Mena. Now for the official particulars, we send it up to Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest comes to a halt at 1 minute, 43 seconds of the first round. Your winner by knockout, and now the WBA International Welterweight Champion, Francisco Chia Santana!
Yeah, I mean, but we didn't have much time to say anything, but Mena, besides what is obvious, that he fought nobody, and he showed that, took the fight on 5 days' notice, 7 pounds heavier than his last fight, was coming in off 1 year and 1 month of inactivity. He was going past 6 rounds for the first time in a 10-round fight. I mean, everything. This was his first fight in the U.S. All his other fights been in the Dominican Republic. Everything was against him. You just wonder why his people put him in here. The only thing I can think of is that they were saying, hey, you know what, we're tired of prolonging things. We're tired of his inactivity. He's had a bunch of inactivity. We wanted to roll the dice, and we wanted one way or the other to find out. Well, they found out.
They threw him in the deep end, and turns out he couldn't swim. The 10th straight win for Francisco Chia Santana, and he won't get a more spectacular knockout than that one. Coming up, we've got heavyweights, and when I say heavyweights, I mean it. One of the combatants weighed in at a lean 281 pounds.